you was doing, getting money, but now it's like you a business, you an enterprise.
And I thought that I was successful then. I really didn't see the value of getting married and doing it this way, because I thought, you know, if I get married, like I won't have as much. That's what I thought. Like now I gotta take care of somebody else. Not thinking that damn, if you got two heads, man, that's better than one. Right. You know, you gonna maximize your potential because you got a partner now. That's what happened.
Man, y'all gotta do a relationship book, man.
Wow.
I'm saying, because it seemed like, you know, she was important to your survival.
The most, brother, she's the most important. I ain't gonna lie, she my secret weapon. She the one.
The trapper died when I saw the momentum I was picking up. I knew I was on to something, so I just had to go cold turkey on everything else. Probably one of the hardest things I ever did, but the best thing that I ever done. But it was just like you got to lose what you got to get what you want. You know what I'm saying? So I had to lose something to gain, and I was willing to make that sacrifice. It could have went either way, but I was willing to make that sacrifice. And I think people got to understand that. Like if you want something bad enough, you're gonna have to lose what you got.
Well, I think just growth comes with being, you know, with me personally, just growing up, just maturing. Being the same person you were 25 when you're 35 to me being 39. You know what I'm saying? Just I bumped my head enough till I had to just like really reevaluate stuff and saying like, why are you making mistakes and what's gonna keep you from making them again? And you know, you don't got nobody. Got to be aware of what's going on. So I knew my my flaws. I knew my hurdles I had to jump. And so I just like, man, I'm gonna go out there and handle my business.
You know, I just strive for perfection on and off the court. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I take what I do very seriously. So, you know, even my personal life, you know what I mean? I treat it the same because, you know, I handle myself the same way on and off court. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's just how I'm rocking.
Who I didn't help, really what we should be saying. There's got something going on right now. Everybody currently in Atlanta, I feel like some kind of way I indirectly help them or inspire them.
Right.
From them telling me that or me just knowing the backstory. So a lot of time it got to the point, I don't be want to say it like, oh, I did this, I did that, but there was so many people that didn't help nobody.
Right.
Who did put people in messed up contracts, who did hold their careers hostage. Like I feel like I didn't do that to nobody.
Right.
I always kind of helped them get to a better situation.
My uncle told me a long time ago, listen more than you talk. Mm-hmm. So I would go in rooms and just sit there, just listen.
And see, you've said that a bunch already, like just listening.
Right.
And, you know, there's a lot of kids that you grew up with, I'm sure, that were listening to the same music, around the same experiences that you were, but they're not listening. Like, what do you think it's about you? Do you think it was just like, hey, I was destined for this, that I'm a learner, I'm curious? Like, why are you, where does that come from?
I learned this is crazy. With me, I have to, if I can't go in a situation and walk away with something, like if I can't sit down with somebody having a conversation and feel like I walked away with something, or if I can't be in a relationship that I feel like mentally I get something, I just can't deal with it. Right. I'm already clocked out. It's like sapiosexual shit. It's like I gotta, you know what I mean? I have to meet in the mind because that's where it's at for me. Everything else is what it is. So just like I can sit down with somebody and having a conversation with them and hear their struggle as well and be like, you know, because I got a lot of friends now that are, you know, billionaires, millionaires, whatever, but if you listen to everything they talk about, they all had a struggle. And where I thought my struggle was real, sometimes theirs was realer. I saw one of my guys the other day, I was like, so what are you doing in the morning? And he just started telling me his ritual, but I know what mine is. He telling me doing Tai Chi, tapping. I'm like, well, so what's tapping? So I'm just listening to what he does to set himself up because I know how he thinks. So evidently his morning rituals are on another level. But I want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because mine are here. I need mine there. So I gotta, you know, see how. But imagine if I just had a conversation with him like, how you make your money? And then it stops there.
My dad and my mom got divorced when I was 16. As soon as she divorced him, man, he fell off so bad. Fell off like wet weed, man. I'm talking about over with, man.
And just watching that, like, man, I don't want to make the same mistakes my father did. And you don't want to hurt your woman like that.
Because you fail. If you fail, I don't care what you say, you get divorced, you have failed that marriage, you failed at something. You know, I ain't getting started shit to fail. My shit ain't gonna fail.
Right.
I'm doing it. You got to be responsible, man. Don't do nothing you can't. Don't commit to nothing that you ain't gonna be responsible for. If you take a job, do the job. Do it with effort. Don't take no job and then you don't feel like you want to go to work. Don't work there. Because if I'm, me, everything I do, I want to come. I ain't gonna do no interview with Charlamagne if I don't want to be interviewed. If you don't want to be interviewed, you feeling bad, don't come. You don't want to be with that girl, you feel like you get married, like everything you got to be, just be self-aware, man. That's what I've been telling everybody. Push yourself to be super self-aware.
Thank you guys for watching this week's episode of Culture Breakdown. We are back in the groove of things. And until next week, I'm out.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I am the Latino Conservative. This is my very first time ever going live. And I just kind of wanted to see how this went. See if I can at least get a few people on here every now and then to kind of meet me, talk to me, let me know what's up. First thing I wanted to do was to talk about Twitter. So Twitter is doing this thing where everybody knows the story with Twitter. They're banning people, they're banning posts, they're doing a lot of stuff to basically what I feel is infringing on people's First Amendment rights, which is freedom of speech. They are doing this using guidelines given under Section 230. Now, what Section 230 is, it's a piece of internet legislation in the United States that was passed into law as part of the Communications Decency Act in 1996, formerly codified as Section 230 of the Communications Act of 1934 at 47 USC. It gives a bunch of codings after that. So basically, the gist of it is saying that media companies, social media companies, Facebook, Twitter, and it started out as the message boards. I don't know if any of y'all are old enough to remember the big message boards that used to go on, that people would join on, had common interests, Honda parts or Honda cars, sports cars and whatnot, fishing groups. They had message boards out there that were specific to groups. Every now and then, a person, a spammer most of the times, would post something that was questionable, air quotes, questionable, something that was inappropriate, maybe even illegal or spam. Bullying happened on those groups every now and then as well. So, internet companies sought out the help of the legislators, as they should. Something like this, internet companies for them to come up and start making that change that I've talked about so much of the legislators, as so they should ask for help. Something like this, internet companies for them to come up and start making that change that I've talked about so much of the legislators, as they should. What that says, something like this, internet companies for them to come up and start making that change that I've talked about so much of the legislators, as they should. Something like this, internet companies for them to come up and start making that change that I've that card up there on the post that says this information is incorrect. I know everybody's seen that. False misleading information. They will even put that on something that is legit. I know whenever I'm sitting on TV, I don't want to necessarily have the blood and guts all over your face because I might have it up in front of my kids. I don't want to hear that. But they're're putting that same card on every dayes. And there's a So let's s So leths we we'red likeed Pennsylvania, actually, their court said Secretary of State lacked authority to change the deadline 2 days. A Pennsylvania judge ruled in favor of the Trump campaign Thursday, ordering that the state may not count voters need to provide proof of identification and failed to do so by November the 9th. The Secretary of State in Pennsylvania took it it upon herurson make a last-minute change to their voting process to extend the time that was allowed for voters to confirm their identity. They're supposed to do it by the 9th, and they extended it to the 12th. There's a little bit, that's part of the legal shenanigans that people like Donald Trump and other people say could be the result or could be a sign of voter fraud. Why would you need to do that? Why would you need to extend that time? Now, here's the thing. Here's my point, my really big point on mail-in ballots. In Houston, I saw people dropping off their mail-in ballots at a ballot box on election day. Mail-in ballots are technically supposed to be when you can't make it to the polls. Also, in Alabama, where I was, we voted electronically. And by that, I mean, we each had our own separate polls. They gave us a stylus that was disposable, so only we touched it. They gave us a little piece of paper that had our voter registration or a little number that we had. We went in with that stylus, put in our number, and our ballot came up.